man. That's why the scriptures say in Genesis 49, talking about the Gadites, a troop shall overcome you. That was talking about the so-called white man.
Speaking of crackers, we got a bunch of little cracker girls screaming next door.
This devil, man, he gotta pay, man.
This patronizing version of American history excludes many embarrassing facts of European history. As stated by James W. Lowen, author of Lies My Teacher Told Me, that'd be a good book to order. You know? For a lot of you brothers, man, that'd probably sum up the white man's classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Many college students are unaware of the horrific plague that devastated and significantly reduced the population of natives after Columbus's arrival in the New World. Most diseases came from animals that were domesticated by Europeans. Cowpox from cows led to smallpox, which is later spread through gifts of blankets by infected Europeans, which they don't really teach in schools, by the way. Of the 12 high school textbooks Professor Lowen studied and analyzed, only 3 offer some explanation that the plague was a factor of European colonization. The 9 remaining textbooks mention almost nothing, and 2 of them omit the subject altogether. He writes, each of the other 7 furnishes only a fragment of a paragraph that does not even make it into the index, let alone into students' minds.
Wow. So they take a lot of that shit out, man. Like, they trying to even take out slavery. Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, they trying to take slavery out of the textbooks. Because they want to erase that history.
Why is it... Hold on, let's scroll down. Why is it important to mention the plague? It reinforced European ethnocentrism, which hardly produced a friendly relationship between the natives and Europeans. To most of the pilgrims and Europeans, the natives were heathens, savages, treacherous, and satanic. Upon seeing thousands of dead natives, the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony, John Winthrop, called the plague miraculous. In 1634, he wrote to a friend in England, for the natives in these parts, God hath so pursued them, as for 300 miles space the greatest part of them are swept away by the smallpox which still continues among them. So has God hath thereby cleared our title to this place. Those who remain in these parts, being in all not 50, have put themselves under our protection. So these devils thought that this was a gift from of God. This slaughter of their people, and that's part of the curses in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Them plagues. So for all you dumbasses that say that Native Americans aren't Israelites, you need to reread the curses, man. The ugly truth is that many pilgrims were thankful and grateful that the native population was decreasing. Even worse.
Because they stole everything, man. You was happy that you was seeing less and less Indians, man. Because you was killing them all and burning them. That's why the scriptures say the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. You thought that it was a gift from the Most High that gave you this land, which really it was. It was a gift from the Most High. But he going to ultimately slaughter your land that you took with thermonuclear missiles, man. And that's going to be a gift from the Most High to us, that he destroys you Edomites and put you in slavery. That's going to be our gift.
This is Deuteronomy 28:59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses and of long continuance. So the natives are subject to the curses too. Cause that smallpox, man, that was some harsh shit, and it killed a lot of them. Um, the ugly truth is that many pilgrims were thankful and grateful that the native population was decreasing. Even worse, there was the Pequot massacre in 1637, which started after the colonists found a murdered white man in his boat. 90 armed settlers burned a native village, along with their crops, and then demanded the natives to turn in the murderers.
So Esau, he likes fire, man, because he was burning a lot of shit. But let's see if he likes the nuclear fire that the Most High sends on his ass, man. You like to burn everything. You like to burn villages. You like to burn crops. You like to burn innocent indigenous people. So the Most High is going to burn you along with 2/3 that's feasting today, man.
When the natives refused, a massacre followed. Captain John Mason and his colonist army surrounded a fortified Pequot village and reportedly shouted, "We must burn them. Such a dreadful terror let the Almighty fall upon their spirits that they would flee from us and run into the very flames. Thus did the Lord judge the heathen, filling the place with dead bodies." The following Pequot were hunted and slain.
And the indigenous people of this country, the Gadites, the Reubenites, so-called Mexicans, Israelites, they're not the heathen, man. The ones that's amongst them that's being wicked and keeping the philosophies of the so-called white man, they consider the heathens. All right, but the ones that still got a hatred for this white man, they're really not considered heathens, man.
The governor of Plymouth, William Bradford, further elaborates. Those that escaped the fire were slain with the sword, some hewed to pieces, others run through with their rapiers. That they were quickly dispatched and very few escaped. It was conceived they thus destroyed about 400 at this time. It was a fearful sight to see them thus frying in the fire. Horrible was the stink and scent thereof, but the victory seemed a sweet sacrifice, and they gave the prayers thereof to God who had wrought so wonderfully for them. Perhaps most disturbingly, it is strongly argued by many historians that the Pequot massacre led to the Thanksgiving festivities. Right, so it was that massacre that led to the Thanksgiving festivities, not the bullshit in 1621 with Squanto. It's bullshit. The day after the massacre, the aforementioned Governor Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of thanksgiving, thanking God that they had eliminated over 700 men, women, and children. It was signed into law that this day forth shall be a day of celebration and thanksgiving for subduing the Pequots.
So it was a law, all right? It was signed into law, you know? So that's why it's such a big tradition, man.
Now one may ask, what about Squanto, Wampanoag, man who learned to speak English and helped the hungry, ill, and poor pilgrims, as cited by Professor Lowen in an American high school textbook called Land of Promise reads. I'll select you. Squanto had learned their language, the author explained, from English fishermen who ventured into the New England waters each summer. Squanto taught the pilgrims how to plant corn, squash, and pumpkins. Would a small band of settlers have survived without Squanto's help? We cannot say, but by the fall of 1621, colonists and Indians could sit down with several days of feast and thanksgiving to God, later celebrated as the first Thanksgiving. Note that this text states the first Thanksgiving was on 1621. Indeed, there was a feast on that year, but it was not called the Thanksgiving feast, nor was it repeated until years later after the Pequot massacre in 1637. In regards to Squanto, the correct question to ask is, how did Squanto learn English? History textbooks neglect to mention that the Europeans did not perceive Squanto as an evil, or as an equal, but rather as an instrument of their God to help the chosen people. It is also admitted that, as a boy, Squanto was stolen by a British captain in 1605 and taken to England. He worked for a Plymouth merchant who eventually helped him arrange passage back to Massachusetts. But less than a year later, he was seized by a British slave raider. Along with 24 fellow natives, Squanto was sold into slavery in Spain. He would manage to escape slavery, journey back to England, and then talk a ship captain into taking him along on his next trip to Cape Cod in 1619. It's a completely different story than what they tell you in school. So Squanto was actually a slave to the white man.
It's like it's still let's get into the scriptures. They're like really look like they're going into Squanto. You got the unless you got some more on there.
No, it's pretty much just ranting about, Black Friday. This is Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Right, like it says, learn not the way of the heathen. Because when you come into this truth, you might have been celebrating these Esau's demonic days like Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving, 4th of July and all that shit. But when you come into this truth, you need to put that aside. You need to unlearn the way of the heathen, pretty much, and learn the way of this truth.
And Thanksgiving is a way of the heathen, because, like we just read, basically it's just a day of slaughter. So if you an Israelite, you ain't supposed to be celebrating this shit, man.
Yeah, you're just you're falling into his deceit. He's deceitful. You're falling into Esau's lies. You need to come out of that. This is Jeremiah 22 Leviticus 22 and 29. When ye will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord, offer it at your own will. And we're going to go into this word here, Thwada, Slakia. This word Thanksgiving in the blue letter means confession, praise, thanksgiving. Give praise to the Most High. Thanksgiving in songs and liturgical worship, hymn of praise, thanksgiving choir or procession or line or company, thank offering, sacrifice or thanksgiving, confession. So when you're giving thanks to the Lord, on this day, you're giving praise that those devils went and killed
Basically,
your people, man.
You're giving thanks to Satan, man.
Yeah.
It don't got nothing to do with the Lord. All right. You're giving thanks to Satan, man.
You could give a thanksgiving to the Lord, a sacrifice of thanksgiving to the Lord anytime you want, But when you do it on one of Esau's demonic days, yeah, then you're doing it to Satan, man. You're not doing it to the Most High. Like it says, Slack, I'll go back. When ye offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord, offer at your own will. That's the key there. At your own will, not Esau's will. Not when he tells you. That's why you watch these football games today, and every commercial break they're showing these troops, they're honoring these troops. Like Monday night on the football game, they had the game in Washington D.C. with the Washington Redskins, and they had a bunch of stupid ass Gadites honoring the American flag for their military service, man.
You Gadites don't get cursed out enough, man. You Reubenites, you don't get cursed out good enough, man. Mainly because Jake, say Judah, is the head tribe, but you don't get cursed out enough, man. You a bunch of fucking stupid asses, man.
These guys look like they're about to cry, man, because they just love that American flag so much.
Esau gave you a punk ass reservations. You happy? You're content.
This is Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days.
So the Lord hates Thanksgiving. All right, He doesn't like it. He's not with it. It burns the smoke in His nostrils, man.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
All your food you cooking, oh, don't that smell good? No, the Lord don't smell that shit. Your nasty ass turkey, He don't smell that.
Man, these fucking devils, man.
I'm glad I gotta work today, man. I'm glad I work today. I don't want to be around no fucking family, man. I'd rather be at work. All right. I don't be around no fucking people, man.
I kind of wish I had to work today, but my place of work is closed. We already went into Psalms. Last scripture, Revelation 3:15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. Thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Right. So when you come into this truth, man, you can't be lukewarm. You can't follow the high holy days.
A lot of you niggas that used to be in this camp, I know you eating right now. I know it, man. I know you fucking feasting. You feasting, man.
You probably eating stuffing with mushrooms in it, or fucking
you probably your mom
sausage, pork sausage.
Yeah, your mom. A lot of you niggas probably eat pork and everything now, man. Who knows, man?
Probably eating your greens with bacon in it.
Who knows, man? Who knows what you niggas do? Cause you don't do the work no more. So you went back into your old self. So you might as well go eat the pork, man. But don't forget, nigga, you still on the red list, all right? Only way out this truth is in a box, man.
Yeah, when you come to this truth, this is for the younger brothers, pretty much. You got to be hot. You can't be lukewarm. You can't be celebrating the high holy days and celebrating Esau's days, man. You need to come out of that, man. Because if you're doing both, that's being lukewarm. You really need to despise these feast days, just like the Lord does. Just like we went over in Amos 5:21. You really need to despise them. You need to, you gotta hate these days, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Thanksgiving shit's been driving me crazy all week, man. I got all these people telling me, "Oh, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? You're not gonna celebrate Thanksgiving,
motherfucker." The sun goes up and the sun goes down.
Yep.
Same shit every day. There ain't no motherfucking day of goddamn giving thanks, man. This ain't no special day. I'm breathing the same. I walk the same. I talk the same. Ain't shit different. Except a whole bunch of motherfuckers spending money. That's how Esau gets you again. Everyone goes out and spends money, man. Then he does it back to back. Thanksgiving, everybody during the week, everybody's shopping for food, and then he hits your dumb ass with niggas with Black Friday. So it's a day of Esau just collecting bank, man. 2 days of collecting pure bank on you niggas, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna collect bank from you niggas that's gonna get trampled, cause you gotta pay when you die, right? Gotta get a casket. Gotta pay for the funeral. So it's all about money, man.
Yeah, you gotta pay You gotta pay the hospital bill when they try to keep you alive.
Exactly. You get so it's all. It was a big scam artist, man.
You gotta pay for the ambulance ride to the hospital.
Yep. So
You
it's
know?
a big scam, man. And the elites is just sitting back laughing at you niggas, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. You got anything? Any other thoughts?
Hold up.
All right. Want to give all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of GMS. And Barakatah to you brothers teaching this truth, man, with sincerity. And death to you dumbasses that don't come out of this, man.
Yep. You deserve it.
Death to America, obviously. Shalom.
Shalom.